So the game is William Winter against Winter-Capablanca. It was played in Hastings in 1919. So Capablanca was already a recognized player, and well, of course, he was a favorite in this game. Okay, and so we'll see the topic of this game is how to take advantage of a restricted piece, and how it's important to have all your pieces in play. So we will see how you can trap a piece and then take advantage of it. So okay, the opening was e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. So Capablanca is black, as you see, has black pieces. So it's a 4 knights. It's a 4 knights. Nowadays nobody plays that, I mean, at the top level, because it's not giving an advantage for white, but it's the early 20th century. So at this time it was a pretty popular opening. So bishop b5, bishop b4, castle, castle, bishop takes c6, and pawn takes c6. So okay, what do we see here? We see that the white gave away the pair of bishops, so 2 bishops for black, but in the exchange of this loss, the black pieces will have to deal with the double pawns on the c file. So what I would say is that if black can exchange the c4 pawn against the c6 pawn against the d pawn or the b pawn, they will have a great advantage. If they cannot really deal with that, white will be able to pressurize the center, and finally will get an advantage themselves. But usually the unbalanced position favor the player that is the best player. So if you are playing against someone weaker than you, usually you like the fact that you have an unbalanced position, because if you can solve the problems in the long term, you will be able to get a real advantage because it's unbalanced. So you will be able to exchange the pawns and then to put pressure with the bishops. So I guess Capablanca was pretty glad about that. But anyway, it's pretty how to say, it's not really complicated position. So let's see how it goes. White and black capture toward the center. Okay, let's have a look. So first of all, he wanted maybe to activate his pieces, but I think that knight e5 maybe is working. Wait, let's use the engine. Okay, he says knight takes e5, rook e8 and d4. So yep, white gets some activity here. It was a possibility probably, but I guess that white is pretty active. Guess like bishop c3. Yep, so it was an option. It was an option definitely. But the computer preferred DC, by the way, I guess. Okay, it was an option. Both are playable, because here you get the bishop. You get the bishop into play, straight into play. So it's bad because you take from the center pawn, but you get an active piece right away. Okay, let's go further. So okay, I analyzed before the game knight e5 here. Black would play rook e8. Yeah, queen e8 also is possible. It's just, as I said, it's another possibility. So let's not go into that too much. And here I just analyzed a bit with the engine, and he gives this position, which is probably just equal. He says that white is better, but I don't believe it. I would prefer to play with black here, But anyway, as you see, it's really balanced position. It should be really equal. So, okay, even if I prefer black. So the game happened like d3. So now he's attacking the pawn on d5, or e5 of course. So Capablanca decided to protect it by bishop d6. So, okay, I've been writing again. It's, sorry. It's a mistake with the chess base. Nothing to say here. Just putting the e5 pawn. Bishop g5. So, okay, the classical pin. It's a natural place for the bishop, g5. Capablanca plays h6, so it's also logical. Bishop h4. Okay, retreating. c5. So here it's an interesting moment of the game, because Capablanca is setting up a strategical trap here with this move. William Winter will fall into it. I'm not sure that objectively c5 is the best move, but the thing is that he calculated the lines that will happen in the game, and I think he was pretty confident that Winter will fall into the trap. And well, it's pretty easy, in fact, when you know that. But I guess in the early 20th centuries, it was another story. So look, knight d5. What do you play with black here? Okay, sorry, I think it's working. Just the computer is not liking it. Okay, anyway, wait, I check. Yep, it's working. So what do you play here with the white pieces, with the black pieces after knight d5? What's the idea of Capablanca here? Okay, I give you some times. Just think about what you could do with black here. It's working. Anyone has an idea? Let's shut out Skype. Okay, g5. I would just pin the knight, but I know that's not the move. Okay, things that if you pin the knight will be taken on f6, and he will play h3, g4, maybe. In fact, he has many options then. You can take the knight with the bishop, and your pawn structure will really be awkward. So g5 is the move, yes. But can you tell me why? Can you go a bit further? Okay, g5, I go knight f6. G5, I go knight f6. Okay, you go queen f6, okay? I go bishop g3. So what's the thing now? What's the thing here? What's the idea now? Because my king is pretty weak. What are we doing here? Yes, bishop is on bad square. The bishop on g3 is on a bad square, but it's not that bad. Okay, if you push the pawns, if you push g4, by example, I go knight h4, and I will push the f pawn, I will open the f file, and I will get a crazy attack at your king. If you push h5, well, I don't know, but I think I have many ideas. Just want to show, okay, you offer h4 for the engine, offer h4, which is the logical move, g4 and knight d2. And again, same idea, I will open my f file at some point, and your king is weak because the pawns are too far away, and the bishop is not that bad. It's looking at e5, and when I will play f4, it will be okay. The knight can go to c4 also, increase pressure. So okay, let's take the engine. So yes, we pin the knight. So now you can see, we can see the idea. The bishop on g3 will be out of the game for the rest of the game, of this game, because h3. Okay, he played h3. Okay, he had plenty of moves, but h3 is normal. He wants to force black to take a decision. Bishop takes, queen take, and pawn take. And look, now this bishop is dead. You cannot free it. You cannot free just. Okay, let's go with the black next move. You go with f6, and now this bishop is just lost. Now this bishop is just lost. I think you can see it. You cannot free it. He will go with in the game. He will play h4, but black will just ignore it. He will take on g5, take on g5, and this bishop is not going anywhere. So you will tell me the bishop on d6 is not doing that good as well. So now the whole game, the whole question of this game is about will black will be able to push the pawns on the queen side and bring the bishop to d4. If they can manage it, then they will most probably win the game. So this is the question now. Unfortunately, Winter didn't really understand it. He went king g2. I tried some variation like that to try to defend. This was analyzed with the computer. I analyzed further, but he really had to play like that to try to close it. It's one of the ideas the computer is giving. Okay, I didn't put the line further because it's a bit pointless, but he has to play on just on the queen side and try to close it at all price to be sure c4 is not coming. Okay, he calculated from c5. After he played c5, he calculated till this position, that's sure. When he played c5, he saw all this line 100%. So king g2, a5, a4. So this is a good move, a4, stopping. King f7, coming. So here again you have to try to close it like that. Okay, as I wrote, it's game for two results here, but white still has clear chances for a draw. It's clear chances to handle c4, and then the game is pretty hard to win for black because he has two ideas, c4 and f5. But if you go f5, then this bishop becomes a bit better, and well, it's not that good. But if you cannot play c4, and I think that if white plays perfect chess, they can avoid it, then it's draw. So this was the chance for the draw. Okay. He played rook h1. So he didn't realize, yeah, I wrote on my notes, I think he didn't realize that h4, pawn takes, and your rook is doing just nothing on the h file. He's just attacking it, but he's is not having any chance to get counterplay on the king side. He still wanted to attack some, but he had to realize that he's worse and go for the defense. So king e6, h4, okay, come on, I would say, nothing happens. Rook b8, pawn takes. As you see, this rook is pointless. Even if you would go like, I don't know, rook h7, and so what? You bring the other rook to h6, but you never attack anything. You will never have any counterplay here, and black are just going to destroy you on the queen side, as it happened in the game. So the move was played b3, c6. So now he wants to play b5, and if pawn takes, to retake with the c pawn. That's the idea. Rook a2, b5, rook a1, c4. This is an extremely good move. You will see it's tactical blow. So now Capablanca with this tactical stuff is able to open the bishop, and bishop is coming to c5, d4. Then there will be just a piece up. He will even attack f2 and control the a1 square. So it's going to be an insane bishop on d4. So the last chance to defend was to play rook b1, cb, pawn takes, rook takes, rook b4, and well, black now is really doing great. But as you know, in chess, you can always handle the draw in the rook endgames. So it's still not finished. It's just an advantage for black here. A big advantage, but it's still game on. It's okay. Now we go to the next question. What black is playing here in this position? What is the move for black? What is the move for black here? Okay, take your time. Think about the position. Think about what's happening. In fact, you don't have a lot of possibilities with black. It was the final mistake. You mean c3? You mean pawn take d3? Bishop b4. Okay, if bishop, let's go move by move. The first move, okay, c3. C3, in fact, white just take on a5, and now you just have the a open file, and you are even losing a pawn, so you have to take and take back on b5, and white is pawn up now. One is pawn up. Taking on d3. Okay, taking on d3, and let me. I think pawn takes c6. Okay, it's winning also. It's also winning, it seems. And says d2. So maybe it's winning, but look, why to calculate a lot of variation? Look, if pawn take d3, he can take on d3, so to have this position, or take on c6, as we saw the computer is advising. But if you take on b3, you just force him to take back on b3 with the pawn. So you don't have to calculate the variation of pawn takes c6. So maybe at the end of the day it's the same result, but you just have to calculate half lines. Someone said the move pawn takes b5. If pawn takes b5, the pawn on a5 is falling. And if bishop b4, okay, you can take on c4 or take on c6, and this way less promising that the taking on b3, just losing a pawn. I think he takes on c4, then on b5, and his pawn up. Maybe he can hold the draw even with this bad bishop. So look, the move is pawn takes b3. If rook a5, rook a5, rook a5, b2, and this pawn is unstoppable. It's a queen on the next move. You cannot stop it. So he played pawn b3, only move, rook b5. So now that we achieved those exchanges, you can see that Capablanca is a piece up. Now the bishop will come to d4, and it will just be a killer. The king also will come to the game, if something. So now you can really recognize that black has a great advantage. It's winning already. Here you cannot do anything to defend it. Winter tried rook a4, rook takes b3, d4. So he opts for the pawn e5 tank d4 to free this bishop, but we just don't care. Rook b5, we come back, rook c4, and now rook b4, the final touch. Rook c6, rook d4, and white just resigned. White just resigned here because it's pawn down, and it's really easy to bring it to the queen. The bishop will control the a1 square, and it's just really easy to win. a4, a3 next moves, then rook a4 maybe, or a2, rook a4, and the bishop comes. Anyway, this bishop is never coming back in the game. So that's how you win a game, by restricting a piece. It's pretty instructive. It's a game I always remember. I think I saw it the first time when I was like 7-8 years old, and I still keep it in mind. When I see the possibility to restrict a piece, I still remember this game. It's like, for me, it's a very important game, something I really use through my chess career. So I hope it helped you. I hope it will help you, and that you will remember this game, and remember this idea, h6, g5 also, with bishop g4. It's always useful, especially at the level like 1500s, 1600s. Many people don't know this kind of things. So well, I think that's all for this game.